Hello and welcome on Sports Update. Adeni G. Shafe. Right now, we look at stories trending in the world of sport. As we start with Youth Olympics, we have Nigerian curling team. They qualify from Finland, and right now they're participating in that competition. 2024 Youth Olympic Games curling event. Nigeria, Brazil, others to compete for honors. And then we look at the Youth Winter Olympic Mixed Team Championship. Nigeria will be there. Let's look at the countries now. Korea will be the host. Actually, the city is called Gangwon. Nigeria is the only country from Africa representing Africa there. America as well, Brazil, Canada, United States, Asia, China, Japan, and Kazakhstan. Europe, we have Austria, Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Great Britain, Hungary, Italy, down to Ukraine. In the Oceania, you have New Zealand, and West Asia region, you have Qatar. Talking about, this is the 24 teams now. Let's look at the first one that has to do with Nigeria, alongside Korea, Brazil, Canada, United States, Denmark, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and Turkey, alongside New Zealand from the Oceania. All these teams will be participating from January 2024 to February 1st, 2024 at the Youth Winter Olympics Mixed Team Championship. To let you know that Nigeria is the only country from Africa, and our teams actually did well qualifying for this event after they traveled to Finland in this sport that you can call new in Africa. But really, it's a good thing for the fact that Nigeria really championed this, and we are able to qualify for the Youth Winter Olympics that will be coming up in Gangwon over there in Korea. In the studio with me is Olawale Peters. Good to have you.
Yeah, good evening, Adeni. It's my pleasure being back to the studio. A very good one. We lead other follows in Africa, and that's why they call us the giants of Africa. I hope our giants has not gone to sleep, and I hope we will not go to sleep on this. This is a very good development, and I think all the teams going, what they should have at the back of their mind is to go for experience and exposure. They should not put that pressure on them that they want to win something. That is how they can be free to play their games. But if they put that pressure on themselves, that is when they will make the mistake of them getting nothing at the end of the day. They've done the country proud by being the only African team to qualify for this competition. And if you look at other countries, other nations that will be competing against, they have been doing this for years. They have the weather to themselves, they have the equipment to themselves, they have the infrastructure to themselves. But do we have that? No. Most of these guys there that will be going out to represent us, they are going there based on their what will I call it? Based on their own personal and self-determination, not because the government has provided them with enough training or infrastructure for them to play.
In fact, just as we are mentioning this, I remember the president of Nigerian Curling Federation, Daniel Damola, saying, well, they are calling on individuals to help them, aside the federal government, or they are calling Nigerians because they really need to get a lot of support for this team, for men and women, boys and girls, and they really need a lot of fund for them to get them into camp. They need to get used to the weather, they need to get used to the equipment. This is a new sport that Nigerians are getting, and for the fact that we're able to do it in Finland, despite a short time when they go to Finland, because it's a sport that actually thrives in snow location. But right now, being the only country from Africa representing Africa there, I think a lot of Nigerians want to see, oh wow, we have a team here, and really we need to appreciate some Nigerians who really did well by supporting this team. Some Nigerians are in abroad, Finland, Sweden, getting over, just putting everything together to make sure we qualify. And really, look at them. The sport is growing.
Yeah, the sport is growing, and like what the president said, they need support from both individual and corporate organization. And they're starting the competition in January, and we are still in May. So we still have like 7 months for them to prepare. What they need to do first, number one, is to get acclimatized with the weather. That is very, very important. We don't have the weather in this country. Some of them probably they've not experienced the weather before, but because of their self-determination, you know, we're Nigerians now.
Anywhere we are,
we try to make we try to make impact. So we should now try as much as possible to give them the necessary training, the exposure that they need. If you don't have it in the country here, no problem. If you don't have the money to take them to South Korea before the competition, let's look at a country, even within Africa here, that have similar weather with South Korea. Let's take them there.
Like at least South Africa.
South Africa is there, exactly. That's where I'm going to. South Africa is there. You can do that before the competition. Most of these girls, they have what it takes. The people they are coming to compete with, sincerely take it or leave it. If you look at individual skills versus individual skills, we have Nigerians that are far better than them.
Of course.
But because of the infrastructure that their government has put in place, the kind of motivation, the kind of exposure that they've been to will make them look or outsmart or outshine the Nigerian contingent. I think we need to do more in terms of supporting them to call on private, individual, corporate organization to come. A lot of people have even been asking that, calling.
What is calling?
What is calling?
Seriously.
What is it all about? You know, so that's why I think there needs to be more publicity on the competition and more publicity on the event sponsoring also.
Because I noticed that, you know, at times when things like this happen, the attention could only be on football. There are so many other sports which, if the federation, all the federation needs to do is, okay, get some press, guys, let this be known. We are doing our work. We are working to see how we can get calling. I remember when we went the first time, bobsled and skeleton sport. Nigeria participated at the Olympics. It was not a sport that is known with Africa at all, bobsled and skeleton. But we got 4 athletes who believe in themselves. In fact, they had to go on GoFundMe to raise money to get the car that they will race with, which they did. They got, even though they couldn't do any at the Olympics, but the fact that they represent, in fact, it was like they were representing Africa. Because that was the only team that did. And now this is calling. Before you know it, I remember when Kano started, kayak, and now we have a Nigerian or 2 or 3 Nigerians who are into canoeing, and they are doing well because they started their people. So we can do well in canoe. Oh wow, this is good. Before you know it, begin to have a lot of athletes going into canoeing. That bobsled and skeleton, those the lady who actually started it all, the technical director of the federation now, came to Nigeria just to encourage some youth to go into it, so that they built cart. Actually taught them how to do it, even though the weather wouldn't, because they need ice or snow to work with that particular sport. But really, at least they have how it is being done. An idea. So we've been talking concerning calling sport in Nigeria, and we just hope the Nigerian Calling Federation will get necessary support that they deserve ahead of this competition that will be coming on in Gangwon over there in South Korea come January 2024 there. Well, right now they've qualified, participating over there in Finland. Let's talk about football. NPFL Super 6 will be coming up, and right now a lot of people were doubting that maybe it won't come up, but IMC are saying, well, it will come up in May. No matter what happens, they will make sure it comes up in May. That Super 6 will know the winner of the NPFL as Asaba hosts Women's Super 6 playoffs. Super 6 playoffs will be starting in Asaba on 5th. And right now it means both the men and women will actually hold in May.
I think the new IMC, they are doing a lot sincerely, especially in terms of communication and communicating. They are doing very, very well sincerely, and they are talk and do. And they don't relent. Even if what they plans to do, they have itches, they will still come back and tell you that these are the challenges we are experiencing, and in the next 1 or 2 weeks we're going to fix it. So that feedback, it's very, very important. It's part of transparency. It's part of honesty. So I think I believe them, because all what they've told us will happen. It has happened. Concerning the Nigerian Professional Football League or the Nigerian Women's Football League, it has happened. We're going to do the Super 6. They did it. Some people are still having a doubt that it may not end in May, because Rivers United, due to their international outing, they have about 3 outstanding matches to be played. So they are looking at how can you squeeze in them. But they said they are going to have a conversation with the team and look for how best to resolve that. So for this, I think I don't have a doubt, because we need to have a timetable and follow it strictly so that it will not alter our future developments. That's the truth. If anything should alter this also, whatever they need to do, they intend to do, most football league will be going on break from May. And that's an opportunity for our players also to try and go on break for 1 or 2 reasons. Some of them wants to go for a trial. is an opportunity for them to do that. We also will have that opportunity to plan ahead. That's the IMC. So I think as far as I'm concerned, then the host state also, that's Asaba.
Asaba will be hosting the women right now.
Right. They have what it takes. We saw what they did when they hosted the youth sport festival.
Yeah, yes.
They have the facility, they have the infrastructure, so that is not a problem. So logistics is not a problem. So that means they are ready to go into it. We should just all be optimistic that this will happen and give them the necessary support. Today is the 2nd of May, right? They are starting on the 5th. So in the next 3 days now,
clubs, the 6 clubs will be there.
The 6 clubs will be there to compete against one another. I think it's a very good development.
A good development there. Asaba to host Women's Super 6 teams. FC Robo Queen of Lagos, Edo Queens, not forgetting Confluence Queens, Bayelsa Queens, Delta Queens, and also Rivers Angels will be fighting hard over there in Asaba. Delta State, as Delta State Sports Commission Chairman Tonobo Okowa actually mentioned that they'll be hosting the 6 teams starting from the 5th of May, where they'll be fighting to know who will win the league for the women, NWFL, and for the men, NPFL Super 6. Well, by the time they finish the season, then they will know the 3 teams from each group, Group A and B, that will be fighting for honors precisely in Lagos concerning that Super 6. But I am saying, well, this month of May will hold the Super 6, and we can't wait to have the winner of those leagues. At least we need to know the winner right there. From the Super 6 story, let's talk about the Under-17 AFCON. Games have been on, matches have been played for Nigerian team. Victory over Zambia boosts us mentally, according to Nduka Ubade, the coach of that squad. Right now, they won their game 1-0, and he said, well, for the fact that they were able to win the opening match, the junior team, that's Zambian team, they fought hard against them, but they were able to win, and that will propel them against Morocco, according to Nduka Ubade.
I think that's good enough, because the first assignment is for us to qualify for the World Cup. Excuse me, and what do we need to do is to get to the quarterfinal. So the quarterfinal is our target to start with, and how can we get to the quarterfinal? Is by beating Morocco in our next game. So we've done what we need to do, but we shouldn't take it over yet. Because
well, at least their target right now is semi-final.
Yeah,
if they can get to semi-final, they qualify for the World Cup.
They qualify for the World Cup. So we shouldn't look at the 1-0 against Zambia as, oh, we've arrived. No, we've not arrived. They should go back and check the tape. Show it to the boys. The mistake they made. Where they ought to have scored. Where you need to have passed. Where you need to have... There's some situation whereby your opponent will not be that clinical in finishing. You didn't concede goals. It will make you think that, oh, you are better off. But if you are playing another opponent, they'll look at that tape, they'll look at your mistake. Is this set piece that is a problem? Considering
the fact that Morocco actually did well against South Africa, so they are ahead of us now.
When it comes to that, the Moroccan team, they've been doing very, very, very well. Both their male and their female team. It's like Senegalese team also. If you look at both the under-17, 20, 23, and their senior team, they have the future players that they can pick from anywhere. Morocco also, they are doing the same thing, and that is what we ought to have started in this country that we've not been doing. But this under-17, I think they have a lot to do. But sincerely, to really scale through against the Moroccan team, it is a huge task that it's possible, not that it's not possible. Yes, mentally they are okay right now. We've won our first match 1-0. We are playing against Morocco, who have done it also. They're not coming from a disadvantaged position. Like probably they lost their first match also. They won their own match also. So they even have an advantage over house. So I think as much as possible, we should take it one after the other. We shouldn't be looking at we need to get to the semi-final. No, we normally make that mistake in this country. Before we finish playing a match, you'll be thinking of the next match. No, take it
as it comes.
As it comes, game after game. Our concentration now, our tactics, our strategy, our focus should be how to deal with Morocco. Because if you can't beat Morocco, you won't think of getting to the quarterfinal before thinking of getting to the semi-final. So that's how I think you should go.
Well, right now, Nigeria will be playing against Morocco, and it's a big one on Wednesday. Nigerians are waiting to see what will be happening concerning the under-17, considering the fact that Morocco did well against South Africa. Going to be facing them next, even though Coach Nduka Ubade is saying, well, that win against Zambia is a morale booster mentally for the boys, the Golden Eaglets, who are really right now trying to see if they can win the under-17. We have never won the under-17 AFCON, even though we've been doing well at the international level. But this time around, can we do it under the auspices of Coach Nduka Ugbadi, who also is a king himself when it comes to this particular competition? Now, we move away from there. Let's talk about the big one that will be coming up tonight between the two teams from London. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Arsenal battles Chelsea at Emirates Stadium. Who wins this battle? Arsenal are second on the log. Yes, you can't take it away. Chelsea, they are trailing Manchester City. And Chelsea are 12th on the log. And if you look at that, you want to tell me that Mikel Arteta will do everything possible to dislodge Frank Lampard and his squad. Can that happen? Even though a lot of Chelsea players, or rather Chelsea fans, are thinking that, well, they will beat Arsenal. Well, from the way it is, checking the Premier League record, the 58 games, 22 wins for Arsenal, 19 for Chelsea, goals 78 for Chelsea, 77 for Arsenal, clean sheets 17 for Chelsea, and 15 for Arsenal. You want to tilt towards Chelsea, but really, this season has not been too good for the Blues, because despite buying almost a squad, it has not really yielded any much good result, considering the fact that the Porter magician came, so he couldn't conquer. Lampard took over. It has been loss upon losses, and from the way it is.
Okay, to start with, Arsenal is coming to the game with an advantage. Number one, and if you look at the overall head-to-head between the two teams, Arsenal have won. I'm talking about overall.
Overall, not this particular one. Arsenal
have won 81 times. Chelsea have won 61 times, and they've drawn 59 times. That's the record between the two teams. And when we are playing a derby match, your performance will be totally different from what you are used to play. So it will be a different match tonight. That's the truth. Then both of them are wounded lions. Now the first wounded lion is Arsenal, that they've held on to Premier League for 247 days. We have about 305 days to play Premier League, and they held on for 247 days. And
virtually dominating the entire season.
Over 93%. And they lost it at the dying minute. That is why
they have not lost it. They are second on the log. Anything can still happen.
I know. I know the reason why you are saying this. You want to watch the European,
of course, Champions League. That's actually the.
So that's why I refer to Arsenal team as the title holder. You know, during the presidential election in Nigeria, we have a place holder. That, okay, yeah, take.
Hold it for me.
Hold this for me. When the rightful owner comes, I will collect it. That's what happened to Arsenal. They are the title holder. They held it on for Manchester City, and Manchester City came and collected it from them. And we have Chelsea team. And that, let me use this illustration so that you really understand it. You want to go for a battle, and it's a battle of lions. They have to go with lions. And what you have is a cat to go for the battle. And you cannot go alone. So you have no choice than to go to the battle with the cat to go and face lion. So that, what does that tell you? That you've already failed before you go for the battle. That is the problem of Chelsea this season. They don't have attackers. It will shock you to know that Chelsea still have one of the best goal against record in Premier League. Newcastle have the best record. They've conceded only 28 goals. Followed by Manchester City, they've conceded 30 goals. Next is Chelsea. They've conceded only 35 goals.
Just by standing 12th on the log.
They've conceded only 35 goals. Even the Arsenal that they are playing tonight, Arsenal have conceded 38 goals. So conceding goals is not really a problem for Chelsea. That is why I use the illustration of going to a battle that is supposed to go with lion and you went with a cat. So they don't have a striker. They've scored only 30 goals this season.
Is Asaba not a good striker enough?
Can you sign him if you're a coach?
Yeah, I will sign him.
You will not.
That's
the truth.
It's just that after he left Arsenal, everything started when he left, and from before moving to Barcelona and all that to Chelsea, I think a lot of psychology. But really, Aubameyang is at least one of those good strikers. Well,
I get time before no be property again. He used to be a good striker, but not now again. That's the truth. See, to be honest with you, someone that is already on the ground should not be scared of what? Falling. Chelsea is on the ground, so they are not scared of losing tonight. Whatever happens, if Chelsea should lose tonight, the battering will not be that much. It's expected now. Lampard has played how many matches now? No win. The whole of April, 30 days, Chelsea scored only 1 goal. The whole of April, only 1 goal. And they played how many matches? About 6 matches.
And they lost.
And they lost all the matches. So that tells you that if you're a Chelsea fan and you are listening to me tonight, this evening, and you are expecting a miracle from Chelsea tonight, I advise you, eat before you watch the match. If not, it is not possible for Chelsea to win tonight's match.
But I think
Arsenal, they are playing at home. And go and check all their records when they are playing at home. The fans are there to support them, and their spirits when they are playing at home is totally different from the same spirit.
And they also, coupled with the fact that they know what's at stake, they can win tonight, they will also push.
If Arsenal should make that mistake of not winning tonight's match,
it's over.
Or they even draw tonight's match, what they need is a win. If they didn't get that win, they should just forget it. They will know that their waiting years still continue. The last time they won Premier League was 19 years ago. If you're less 19 years from your age, you will recall where you were as at last time Arsenal won the league. So that's why it's very painful if Arsenal do not win this
standing
league.
For 247 days.
So it's like this is their hope, their own renewed hope. But it's like it's nothing is renewed again for them. So that means they have to go back all over again. And the last one is, if Arsenal do not win the Premier League, take it or leave it, I won't see any difference between them and Chelsea. Because they are both trophyless this season. There's no trophy for second position.
Arsenal can still win the trophy. Let's just hold it that way. Hopefully. We've been talking with a lot of pizzas on the show. Sports Update. I want to appreciate your time for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure being here, Adeniyi.
Adeniyi G. Shafe. Thanks for watching.